All right, all right. Let's see if we sold some things. Good morning, everyone, by the way. Oh, 26 gold. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. Did I sell anything here? Alright. Rugged hide. Scorpion skill. Banky herbs. I'll just send him all of the Grum's blood that we got yesterday. Let me browse your good, brother. It's pretty expensive to buy all those juice. That's some stuff that should not be here at the moment. I bought 5. Alright, so now we are going to go in the Plague Lands. Let's prepare the fortune cookie of the day. Chillwin Camp. Basically, last night I had the chance to play a little bit. You know, my computer was laggy and all, so I completed the quests in the Blasted Lands, and I hit level 52. But then I went a little bit in the Plague Lands just to actually I hit 52 in the Plague Lands because I was like 1 bar from actually digging. So went to the Plague Lands, killed a few skeletal flayers and ghouls, got level 52. Went back to South Shore and then I logged off, so you guys didn't miss. You didn't miss much. I mean, it was the same thing that we did last. Well, yesterday in the last stream. I mean, it was just farming the mobs in Blasted Lands for the resources to drop for the completion of the quest. So, you know, I wasn't much to really show. Those should have, okay, those 2. Might be selling those on the auction house because that quest is very painful, so maybe there's some people that will want to actually buy it. And the best thing about being in Plague Lands now is that we have access to the Arthas Steers. We have the Dreamfoil, we have the Plague Blooms, all sorts of very expensive herbs that we can get, and you know, 300 skills in both skinning and herbalism, so there's pretty much nothing that stops us from making lots of money today. And like you've seen from the description, I'm only going to be streaming up for about 2 hours, up until 11:30, because then I'm going out for lunch. had to be dazed right away. Oh, that's true. I wanted to look for a new weapon on the auction house. Because, man, this is getting very painful. We'll be fine. Boom. There's nothing to look at here. Now, once I finish a quest, the idea is to get some Scourge Stones. I think I need 20 because for your... I think it's 20. I might even go up to 25. It's Scott. But yeah, just for your Paladin Epic Mount quest, you have many different steps. I think the first one is to go to the Plaguelands. You gather some Scourge Stones. And then you need to go talk to the Night Elf priest in the tomb of Uther. And then way better with Benedict. Yo, I know, broskies. Yo, Benediction is the best Tier 1 talent. It's the best talent. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna keep some. I'm gonna grind those minion Scourge Stone, and then I'm gonna just put them in my bank so I don't turn them in for rep right away. Because yeah, I think after that you need to go. You need to do some more stuff, and then I'm gonna craft some bandages while I talk to you. So yeah, you need to do this. Then you need to do some other stuff. Then you need to pay like 150 gold because it's like the first part of this quest is to learn sacrifice, so just give you 150 gold, bro. It's pretty much what's happening, and then you keep going further into the quest chain. At some point, you need to come in the Eastern Plaguelands at the north here, and you need to kill some. Oh boy, that's true. And then you need to kill some very tough ghosts. If you're alone, especially if you're in a group, it's not that bad, but if you're alone, those goats are actually quite hard. And then you keep going, so that's what we're going to do today. Gonna keep grinding a little bit here, then we will need to go to the cauldron. Just gonna make a full stack of bandages and we're good to go. Oh, there's a server restart. No, I don't want to have one today. But it's true, it's on Tuesday. Anyways, well, we'll see. Yeah? Like people are saying in chat, like for the last 2 weeks, it's only been it only lasted like 10 minutes or something like that, so shouldn't be too bad. Let's go hit. Wow, good. Silly dwarf. At 52. Like I was talking with another Paladin the other day, because we need to wait to phase 2 to get our Charger Epic Mount, You know, if you have the goal and if, you know, depending on your financial situation and your needs, sometimes it might be even better on a fresh server to just go and buy your regular epic mount than wait. So, I mean, that's probably not something I'm going to be able to afford, but because I mean, the epic quest pretty much, even though you need less raw gold, you actually end up spending a lot of gold nonetheless, you know, because I think you need like, in terms of straight up hard gold, I think you need like 300-400, and then the rest it's a quest chain, it's just time invested, and at some point you need some black pristine diamonds. So there's some items, depending on how lucky you are with the auction house, that can be extremely expensive, or they can be not as expensive. So, you know, there's some people that say, oh, you know, you pay less, you don't pay for your mount, and then you pay less than 1,000 gold for your epic mount. But I mean, not like yes and no. Like, yes, we get a free mount a level 40, which is nice, but then after that, I mean, you're not really spending less than 1,000 gold, because at the same, you know, we need to wait anyways compared to other classes that don't need to wait. I mean, we technically don't have to wait, but if we want to have Paladin epic mount, we need to wait, and then we need to pay twice if we want to have our epic mount, regular epic mount for now, and then have the other one later. So it's not necessarily better. Let's go die! Thank you, God. Man, I need a new weapon. I didn't think about it. You know what? I'm just gonna go look quickly on the auction house. Because last night there was a nice two-handed axe, but it was like 15 gold, and I was debating on whether I would buy it or not, but I'll just go and see. Maybe the price changed, so we'll go and see, and then we'll come right back. Weapons, two-handed axe, just by level 44. Ah, damn. Okay, the axe is not there anymore. Mace, oh god. Boy. Zilla. After Duskwood. 28. Let's just duplicate. If I was level 28. Wetlands, Hills Brad, you're getting a little bit low. You know, it's always a touchy question when people ask you like, where do I need to go? Like, there's so many quests. Oh my god, looking for more BRD runs, level 55 plus. Oh, I can't wait to do some runs of BRD, man. This dungeon is awesome. I mean, it's one of my favorite ones. Oh, bro, don't start. I'm okay. I was gonna say, yo, I'm typing, bro. Don't start. Alright, now we've got 5 people watching. It's a good time, I think, to do the fortune cookie, I think. If it's not breaking and going everywhere. Okay, well, it opened up for us. Can you just attack? Thank you very much. Okay, so keep your promises that you make. It's very important. Lucky numbers 5, 19, 25, 31, 39, 35, and 49. So keep the promises that you make. Alright, how many Scourge Stones? Okay, I only have 15 for now. Ah, da, da. That's true, and there's the server restarts, or server maintenance, whatever. $14. Can we get at least 20 Scourge Stones? Because I think it's 20, but I'll just keep 25 in case I just don't remember it correctly. Because it's always, you know, a little bit frustrating when you think you have everything you need, and then boom, you actually need to go back and just grind a little bit more. run through those bandages like it's freaking water, man. That's the problem, you know, I'm less efficient because I have a shitty weapon, so I need to hit harder, I need to stay longer in fights, I mean, I don't hit as hard as I could. So, you know, that's kind of a problem right now. Doing mana leech. I'm already struggling with mana, you know, I'm not gonna start mana leeching me. Okay, I'm at 295 skill, so that's cool because when I get the Theramore, I will be able to train both the rune cloth bandages and heavy rune cloth bandages. That's 16. Come on, you can give me my 20 stones, at least 20 stones before the restart, or the shutdown, whatever. That spinning effect is starting to piss me off. How much crit I have? 13.6. Oh, that's why there's no freaking... Where's this mage? Just freaking... Hey, we farming here. Ah, world of mages, huh? It's mages are disgustingly overpowered, man. And I don't feel like playing mages, but it feels like if you don't play a mage or you don't have a mage, you're like way behind, you know? But I guess I have a hunter, so it's going to be just as strong, or almost as strong, but... You know, mages. But yeah, for the restart, you know, I didn't think about it. If it actually takes like a couple of hours and we can get back after like maybe like 30 minutes max, I'm not gonna keep streaming because I'll need to get ready anyway. So I will see. But if we can just, if we just need to wait like 10 minutes or something like that, then, you know, I'll stream up until 11:30 or something like that. Or maybe 11:20, 25, because I gotta get some stuff ready. But otherwise, if it's like an hour, 2 hour of actual downtime, because, you know, the last week it hasn't been really. They were saying, you know, it's gonna be down for 2 hours, and it was good after like 10 minutes. So, but if it's actually a full 2 hours, I'm not gonna stay. Chose the wrong seal. I know. Pesky mage. Okay, nice. There's another slavering goal. At least I'll finish my quest. So afterwards, if I still need some, oh, I'm at 1 scourge stone. But at least I'll finish the quest. Then, you know, if I need a scourge stone after that, well, it's not that bad. I can kill whatever. I don't need to specifically go for a mob that, you know, it's not spawning, or as soon as it spawns, it gets it's getting tagged by someone else. Because at least when you're fighting undeads as a paladin, you have your exorcism, which is a 30-yard range, instant cast, so boom. Hey, what's up, man? Hello. You can tag some mobs real nicely with your exorcism. Oh no, I'm at 19. Come on. How's it going, Mr. Yupianzu? There's a server restart in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so if you just got here, we'll see how long it lasts. You know, if it's just 10-15 minutes like in the past weeks, we'll keep streaming, and then we'll stream up until later. If not, if it's actually like hard like 2 hours whatever of downtime, then in that case I'll end the stream, and because there's some things I need to work on and I need to get ready for lunch later, so there's some things I'll need to work on, so hopefully it's only 10 minutes, because I would like to get at least 52.5 by the end of the day. Come on, give me my scourge stone. Boom. Not lucky. Not lucky. Oh, we can kill at least 2 mobs. Ooh, 702. Nice, that's the highest crit I've got so far. Which is actually pretty sad for a level 52. The only thing with exorcism is that you don't want to use it too liberally, because it uses up a lot of mana. I mean, 235? You want to use it to tag it maybe, or if you want to deal a last burst of damage before maybe taking too much damage or dying. But other than that, you don't want to just use it on cooldown necessarily, unless you have, you know, it's, oh god, just give me my Scourge Stone. That's all I want. That's the redoubt proc. When I get crit, even if I don't have a shield, it still procs. It gives me 5 blocks or 10 seconds worth of increased shield of block chance. 30% increased block chance. Because that's the thing, you know, I wanted to go for the precision. For precision and Guardian's Favor and the protection tree, but I mean, I'm almost never using Devotion Aura, and I mean, Redoubt, I'm not really using a shield, but I mean, if ever I'm using a shield, I get some value out of it, but, you know, it's kind of, oh my god. Well, actually, I just wasted, whatever. Let's just run around. I don't have the time to, especially with such low resources, I don't have the time to kill an enemy NPC. 15 seconds. We shall go down gloriously. Boom, okay. So, I'm just gonna go through my leveling talent, just if you guys have any questions, or you know, you've been asking me what it is, so I'll just go through my my leveling build that I went with. So, you know, first 5 out of 5 Benediction reduces the mana cost of your judgment and seal spells. I mean, I use my seals, well, my judgment really liberally. Pretty much every time that it comes off cooldown, I'm using it, unless I want to save it for a specific purpose or a specific reason. Otherwise, I'm pretty much using it on cooldown, so I get a lot of efficiency out of those 5 talent points. But I mean, there's some people that I've heard talk about, yeah, well, you need a shield to use the, just a little side note, you need a shield to use like the stacks, but you don't need a shield to receive the buff. But yeah, but even if, I mean, some people, I've heard people talk in the Paladin Discord that, you know, you shouldn't use your judgment more than once per target. You know, it made me laugh because I was like, you know, I'm using like 4 or 5 judgments per target, depending on, you know, how tough they are and stuff like that. But anyways, if that floats your boat, I mean, play the Paladin the way you want. But even if you don't use your judgment all that much, you still have your seals that only last 30 seconds. So, you know, you'll be casting your seals often and just on and on and on and on. So you still get a very decent value out of that nonetheless. But even if you use it more, you just get more value. So it's obviously super strong. Why not improve Blessing of Might? The reason is simple. First of all, it's a percentage of buff. It's 20%. I mean, at the first, let's just check that. I mean, at early levels, I mean, 20% of 20 is 4. It's very bad. 35, it's 7. For 5 talent points, getting 7 melee attack power it's super bad. Here you get what? 11, still bad. 85, now we're starting to talk. You know, you get what? 8.5 times 2, that's 17. You know, you get what I mean. You start getting a little bit more as you increase the attack power of the Blessing of Might without. But I mean, with the actual numeric value. But I mean, it's not really good until you get to like the higher ranks of it. So it's you know, not that good for that reason. At the same time, after you're level 14, you will want to use Blessing of Wisdom anyways, because you will need to have mana efficiency. So there's no reason you should take that before you're like level 50 or something. Then improve judgment. You reduce the cooldown of your judgment spell, so you can apply a debuff, or you can deal damage a little bit faster, you know, 20% faster, because the cooldown goes from 10 to 8 seconds. Improved Seal of the Crusader, I personally don't like this blessing, this seal, sorry. It's, I feel that it's bad, but it has its use. I mean, if you're like in a group and you're like with at least 2 paladins, or you have paladin and a priest, you can judge Crusader and then increase the holy damage taken. But if you're soloing, I mean, it's not worth it. You almost never use it. So you want to go 3 out of 5 deflection. But I mean, if you really like it and you want to try it out, you can go with 3 out of 3, but you're probably much better just not picking it up, especially while leveling. I mean, at level 60, if you want to be a red DPS, I mean, that's a completely different story. But for leveling, you don't really need it. So 3 out of 5 to unlock the next tier, then Seal of Command and Pursuit of Justice. The order in which you do them, it doesn't really matter. I mean, probably you'll want to have Seal of Command if you need more damage, but I mean, both of them are grade, AAA grade leveling talents. They're super strong, okay? So, 8% mounted and just regular movement speed, obviously amazing. And then if you have like an aspect of the pack, it will override it because it's like 30%. It's higher, but you won't get like the 30 plus the 8%. That's why it says it does not stack with anything else. But any movement speed increase that is higher than 8%, you'll have that that movement speed bonus for the duration it lasts. But then when it wear off, you will go back down to 8% increased movement speed. So super strong. You get everywhere faster. While leveling, it's effectively 8% increase gold and XP, because you get everywhere faster. Now, after that, I didn't continue into the Retribution tree. I came over the Protection tree. If you're a 2-handed red paladin, I mean, and I'm going to use Improved Retribution Aura and Retribution Aura. So in that case, both of the first talents in the Protection tree are quite bad. I chose Redoubt just because, why not? I mean, you could go with Improved Devotion Aura as well, as long as you have 5 talent points to get to the next one. But I choose this one if ever, I need to switch to one-hitter and a shield to tank like a mob or something. I actually can use the stacks of Redoubt that I have. But I don't need to have a shield to have the buff, proc. But you need to have a shield to use the chargers on it. Then Precision. Precision is super strong. I mean, I strongly recommend you to have that because obviously if you miss a weapon swing with a one-hander, you'll have another swing, whatever, like 2 seconds after. If you miss a swing with your two-hander, the next swing is only like, what, 3.5 seconds on average later. So obviously you don't want to miss, because you miss. If you miss, you are not dealing damage, and most importantly, you are not getting any benefits from your seal or your judgment on the target. So if you have a Seal of Light, well, if you miss, you don't get any benefits from the increased the healing that you can make out of it. If you have a Judgment of Light and Seal of Light, and you miss, you're actually, it's very bad for a paladin to miss your melee attack. So that's why I go with this relatively early. I was 30 by the time I got Precision 3 out of 3. Some people recommend that you go with Precision, but they tell you go all the way down into the Retribution tree, and then you go into the Protection tree, and then you get this talent at like almost level 50. Well, for me, it's a little bit too late. You want to get it pretty much as soon as possible, but you don't necessarily want to go into the protection tree right away, because I mean, Seal of Command and Pursuit of Justice are so strong that you have to do a compromise, and you go a little bit into the Retribution tree, take what you need. That is, it's not all that deep. So very strong talents that you can get rather early. Then you go with Precision, and then you're good to go. In my situation, because I was running dungeons, because I was on a PvP server, I went with Guardian's Favor, mainly for the reduced cooldown of Blessing of Protection. With this, it goes from 5 minutes to 3 minutes, so it's obviously very good. But, I mean, if you're on a PvE server, or you don't feel like you need it, that's completely fine. This is absolutely up to you. Then I went back into the Retribution tree, and I chose 2 points into Conviction for improved critical strike. Then I went with improved Retribution Aura. Retribution Aura is an aura that I found out, or that I realized how strong it was in Classic, because before I always leveled with Devotion Aura, never with Retribution Aura. But I mean, it's a little bit of a different playstyle because you take a little bit more damage, but you know, when you realize that when you attack a mob and you fight a mob, normally he will hit you about 10 times before dying, unless you have, you know, a high crit chance, or you're really lucky with your crit chance, or you have like you're just overpowering, you have like a super strong weapon for the level you're supposed to be. Let's say if you were super lucky to get your Varrigan's Fist as soon as you hit level 20 because you had people help you, well, for the next like 10 levels, you're going to be overpowering the mobs, and you know, you might kill them too fast that you will not get all that much value out of your Retribution Aura. But normally, you know, they hit you about 10 times before dying. So when you take the Retribution Aura level that you're at, you know, rank 1 is 5 damage. So they take about 50 damage just from attacking you. Not bad. And you know, if you're fighting mobs that have like 2 one-handers that attack much faster, you know, they're going to take even more damage. And then at level 26, which is actually not 18, I don't know why that's there, 26, and you get 8 damage, 36, 12, 46, 16, and then 56, 20. So that 50% increased damage, you know, ends up being a decent chunk of damage. You know, maybe 2 full swings worth of damage. So if you want to go for it, if you like Retribution Aura and you want to go for it, definitely this is something a talent that you want to pick up. If you just want to go with Devotion Aura, instead of taking Readout, choose Improved Devotion Aura and just skip those 2 talents. Then I went back into Conviction, took all the other talents in this ability, then boom, increased weapon damage. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. There's no reason for that. Then in my case, I went with Sanctity Aura just to try it out and to see, you know, if ever I need it. It's 1 talent point for a spell, a new aura. It's obviously good. You know, I didn't really get any benefits out of that because I don't think I even switched to devotional Sanctity Aura like ever. So I mean, at that point, you can choose it or not. But in my case, I chose Sanctity Aura and then Vindication to see how it would work in Classic, because on my private server experience, the proc rate of Vindication was absolutely trash. But I'm happy to see that it's much better in Classic. But if you don't want to take Sanctity Aura because you feel you're not going to use it, you don't want to go into Vindication, you can go into an Eye for an Eye because you have 2 more talent points to put somewhere. You know, in that case, it would be all spell critical against you have a cost 30% of damage back to the caster, and the damage cannot ever exceed 50% of your total health. So you could go for that, or maybe 5 out of 5 deflection. So you can build those 2 last points, you can put them wherever you want. You know, if you want to test some things out, you know, definitely go for it. But then you need 2 points to get access to Vengeance, which is super strong. If you go that deep into the Retribution tree, you have to put 5 points into Vengeance. A 15% bonus to physical and holy damage, which is pretty much 99% of your damage. You deal for 8 seconds after dealing a critical strike from a weapon swing, a spell, or an ability. That means if you use a spell and boom, you get a critical strike with your Exorcism, let's say. If you have a weapon swing, that's a crit, or if you do a Judgment of Command and it's a crit, boom, they all proc Vengeance. 15% increased damage, basically. Super strong. Then, Repentance. I'm on a PvP server, it's obviously very nice to have because all players are considered humanoids, and what's important here is that it incapacitates the target for up to 6 seconds. So, it's like a mini Hammer of Justice because it can be, the CC can be broken earlier if the target takes damage. Like it says on the tooltip here, any damage caused will awaken the target. But, like I said, it incapacitates the target, meaning that your Judgment of Command, here it says unleashing the seal's energy will judge an enemy instantly causing whatever amount of damage, or twice that amount of damage, if the target is stunned or incapacitated. So it helps proc your Judgment of Command to deal more damage. So in a PvP situation, in a world PvP, on a PvP server, you know, it's obviously very good. If you're on a PvE server, then it's up to you, because if you're on a PvE server and you never do world PvP, you can only use it against humanoids. You know, that doesn't change, but how often are you going to face humanoids? I mean, you're going to be facing a lot of beasts, you're going to be facing dragons, you're going to be facing undeads, you're going to be facing this, you're going to be facing that. You know, you're not necessarily only fighting or mainly fighting humanoids. So if you're on a PvE server, that talent would be up to you. So you can free it up, but in my situation, I went for it because super strong in a PvP scenario. Now we're level 50. So that means we have 10, or technically 9 other talent points that really matter, because at level 60, your last talent point doesn't really matter anyways, because you might want to respec at that point. So you really have 9 talent points to put where it's going to be valuable, and you're going to get value out of it. I mean, you could go with Improved Blessing of Might if you want at that point, but I mean, if all that time you've been using Blessing of Wisdom, you're going to be addicted to this, 25 or 30 mana per 5 seconds that you're going to get from Blessing of Wisdom, and you're not going to be willing to switch. So that's an option. I don't recommend Improved Seal of the Crusader. I don't recommend necessarily an Eye for an Eye. Vindication neither, and not Sanctity Aura as well. You could go into Toughness for increased armor. Not bad. I mean, Anticipation, you're not really going to get anything from that. Shield Specialization, you're not using a shield anyways. Increased Threat, not really. Blessing of Kings could be an option. Maybe if you're not taking Repentance, you can probably go and take Blessing of Kings and just have this extra blessing in your toolkit. But what I will go with, and what I would strongly suggest you to go with, is Divine Intellect. I mean, I've been seeing this many times, and I'm probably trying to piss people off with this if you've been following me for a long time, but a Paladin with a mana is a Paladin that is not achieving anything, and it's the epitome of the meme class is the Paladin without mana. You just swing your weapon around and you're not achieving anything, you know. So increasing your total intellect by 10%, it's always a nice thing to have, because I'm also a big advocate of itemizing your gears with stam, intellect, agility, and strength. You want to have a little bit of those 4. Maybe strength and stam in priority, but you also want to have a decent amount of agility and intellect nonetheless. So, getting some more intellect that way is obviously a very nice added bonus. Then, you're 55 at that point. You could go with Spiritual Focus, but I think that just getting some raw stats at that point, boom, is going to be your best option. Now, at level 60, that's what it would look like. If you went with Deflection, all of your talents are all, golden. You don't have any green talents, so it looks nice, it looks sexy. But, you can obviously mold it to your needs. That's absolutely up to you. And at that point, technically the last point that really matters is the one at level 59, so 4 out of 5 Divine Strength, because at level 60, like I said, you might want to respec for a full healing build, you might want to respec for my 3-in-1 Paladin build, you want to respec for a Paladin AoE farming build, you might want to go for a, Ret Protection build, a Holy Protection build, a Ret Holy build, there's many different combinations that you can go with at level 60 to suit your needs. So this is what I am going with. This is what I recommend that you go with if you want to play Retribution. Now, I don't have all that much experience with, well, actually, I'm going to try the servers right now. I don't have all that much experience with not playing Retribution, so playing Protection and Holy while leveling. Why are you not me? I don't have any experience, so I don't want necessarily to tell you, Is that my account name? I don't even remember my account name. I'm not even sure. Maybe because it's not back So, you know, retribution to me is what I'm used to. You know, obviously if you're used to leveling holy for some, you know, for example, you might have a lot more. It might be easier for you to level that way. Okay, we'll just wait a few more minutes. But I mean, I don't personally recommend it. But I mean, like I said, you can make things work if you know what's your weapon progression, if you know how you're gonna play, if you're with a friend, then you don't need to go retribution. This is more of a solo leveling build. Yeah, battle disconnect. I just realized that. Okay. Go online maybe. But yeah, this is what I want to go for. I mean, that's the thing with the Paladin class. There's so many little things here and there. I mean, you can choose and you can find a way to make an eye for an eye work. Obviously, if you're farming some casters, for example, or if in a PvP scenario, if you want to go, you know, for do some PvP ranking. I mean, an eye for an eye is super strong because mages that are casters that are gonna want to do like a palm pyro crit, well, they're gonna take 30% of that damage back. So maybe you're gonna die, or maybe you're gonna take a shit ton of damage, you know, in one global. But you know, they're gonna, and if it crits, I mean, they're gonna take 30% of that damage back. So you know, you can, if you like to PvP while you level and stuff like that, you know, you can make it work. Wow, it's actually not even working. But so there's many different ways. Like people, you might feel that going Vindication is super strong with your comp, but I mean for soloing, I think this is, you know, the kind of the best template that you can go with, and then obviously you can mold it here and there, but I don't really see how it could be better. Like some people like to go with Consecration. The only thing is that Consecration uses up a lot of mana, so you need to be careful with that. And then if you go with Consecration but you're a ret, then the problem is, you know, it's maybe taking too much damage. So if you want to go with AoE farming while leveling, always remember that it's always better to go with green mobs and fight green mobs, or yellow mobs that are your level or lower, because the yellow range for mobs is 2 level higher than you and then 2 level lower than you. Then 3 level lower it's green, and then 3 levels higher it gets into the orange, and then red, and then the skull. So if you want to go with Consecration, you know, I'm not really used to that. You know, just be aware that it uses up a lot of mana, and especially at early levels, you don't get all that much bang for your buck. But if you want to go with, you know, Vengeance, and you know, you don't even pick Repentance because you don't need it, you go into raw stats and then you take Consecration. What I suggest you strongly is to wait for a Vengeance proc before using Consecration, because that Vengeance proc will make sure that the Consecration that you casted will deal 15% increased damage. Why am I not even... I know there's been some DDoS attack recently. I don't know if that's part of it, so that's why they're probably just having problems, but last time I've had problems connecting to Battle.net, man, that's talking like months and months. Rip. I'm gonna give it maybe like another 10 minutes or so. If not, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna work actually on my Paladin leveling guide. So if you guys are subscribed to me on YouTube, you can expect to see that video in the upcoming weeks. It's basically going to be, you know, the way I want to do it is just divide it in levels, and go with a you know, from level 1 to 10. What's the play style? What can you expect? What's the weapon that you should be aiming for? Then 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. So this is how I want to divide it, and then it's going to be leveling. So obviously it will wait at it will stop at level 60. And then afterwards, once I'm level 60, I want to try a new build that I've been talking with other paladins about. Some OG paladins from vanilla back in the days, you know, from 15 years ago. And I want to try this and see how it works, and then if it works, I want to make a video about it for a new build that is probably going to be the one that I'm going to be using right as I hit level 60. Because, you know, right as you hit level 60, there's some things here and there that you want to farm on your own. You know, I want to be able to work on my Paladin Epic Mount quest chain. I want to farm some Archidon reputation, at least a friendly, before I switch to any kind of build that is holy only or holy protection. Just to be able to get those mana enriched cookies or biscuits, whatever, from the Quartermaster. Those are obviously amazing. They give you health and mana back, and a lot of mana back. So it only uses up one slot for health and mana. Super strong. And then, you know, there's some things, so I want to try a new build before. I'm using 31-7-13 for leveling, got one more spell for killing mobs. I mean, that's completely fine. If you're comfortable with this, if you know what you're doing, that's completely fine, because, I mean, you're going to be very mana efficient. Like, if I was going Divine Strength or Spiritual Focus, I would just go in that scenario. I mean, if you go for something like this, I mean, if you go into Holy for leveling, Improved Blessing of Wisdom, there's no reason why you should not take it. If you don't have it, which I would assume you have, next points, you put them there. You put them there. Or you take them from somewhere else and then you put them there. At that point, probably Improved Lay on Hands. I would go for Lasting Judgment. 5 out of 5, boom. 7 and 13. I'd probably go for this. Boom. 1, 3, 1, 1, 2. But if you want to go for something like this and then whatever, just depending if you have a shield or not, let's just put it there for the. Maybe something like that is what I would go with, or maybe Divine Strength into Spiritual Focus, depending on what you need. I would go into Retribution first, for the reduced mana cost, for the reduced cooldown, and then Seal of Command, Pursuit of Justice. I would go into then Precision if it was me, and then into Holy. Or at least Retribution first. Seal of Command, Pursuit of Justice, a lot stronger than Consecration and Increased Sealing or Improved Lay on Hands. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If you didn't go that way, and it works for you, you know. Like when I make a guide, when content creators or people are telling you something, it's always, you know, from our experience. And this is what you should. This is something to inspire you. If you're like, yo, screw that, Alex. I mean, I want to go into Holy. I want to go into Protection and finish off with Retribution. I mean, there's nothing that is stopping you from doing this, obviously. But if it was me, from my experience, going to Retribution first, then going into like a Holy build is completely fine. But I would go Red, Protection, Holy. Because, I mean, at what point? Around level 52 you would get Improved Blessing of Wisdom, which is not bad. Boom. But, like I said, I mean, Holy Shock isn't really valuable to you. I mean, Illumination and Divine Favor, how valuable is it as well? I mean, they allow you to be very efficient. Because every 3 minutes you can get a free heal, basically, that will crit. Obviously very good. Red, Prot, Holy, exactly, perfect. This is the best, because this is like the best duo that you have. Especially compared to everything, like Seal of Command is so much better compared to Blessing of Kings and Consecration at level 20. Pursuit of Justice is so much better than, you know, Shield Specialization combined with Anticipation combined with Improved Retribution or Righteous Fury. And it's so much better compared to Holy, Increased Healing and Improved Lay on Hands together. So much better. You're already level 59, that's cool, man. Thinking about going, talking about going online, we'll see. And we actually log into Battle.net. Yeah, have a good one, man. Thanks for joining. You're always welcome here, man. So, have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Stay blessed, my friend. Well, that's a nice background though. Ah, this is painful. This is painful. Actually, I'm gonna give it 50 seconds. If it doesn't work, I'll just restart my computer, so I'll stop the stream. And then if it, you know, you can just stay stand by for like 5 minutes. If you don't see me restarting the stream in 5 minutes, then it's because, you know, it just doesn't work. So I won't need to restart the stream, because I mean it's got some other things to do, so might as well just work on those. It's not what I would like, but I want to stream tonight though. So if I'm not streaming anymore up until 11:30, if I'm not streaming for the next hour, you can catch me up later tonight though. I don't understand why I can't even log into Battle.net. What if I wanted to play some Hearthstone or something? Or Heroes of the Storm? Alright guys, well, I'll restart the computer. I'll see if it works. If it doesn't work and I don't see you before tonight, I mean, have a good one guys. I've had a fantastic morning. I hope you will have I hope you had one as well. I hope you will have a fantastic afternoon. And we will see us later tonight, probably around like 8 p.m. EST, something like that, maybe a little bit earlier. I'll see. So if I don't see you before then, because it doesn't work, I'm telling you, have a good one, and most importantly, stay blessed, okay?